This incited the wrath of the gods and brought annihilation to his empire. Elnoroden was shattered, and Aiden was thrown into a chaotic age of war. In the absence of Bayou, usurpers arose, forming loose alliances, and waging war against one another in a mindless pursuit of power. The strongest and fiercest of these factions belonged to the followers of Baelith, the Dark Lord. They believed that they could dominate Aiden through chaos and fear. They sought to establish a new empire in Baelith's name. They sowed havoc across the land, inciting conflict amongst their enemies. This lasted until the emergence of Hardin, a wizard whose power was second only to Baelith. Hardin formed the Silverlight Mercenaries to stand against the armies of Baelith and change the tide of war. Victory and peace were all but assured. But Hardin was betrayed by his two closest advisors, who had been seduced by the dark magic of Baelith. Once more, Aiden fell into darkness. All would have been lost if it wasn't for Valdir, a Silverlight mercenary who resisted the armies of Baelith. By uniting the armies of the various kingdoms of Aiden, Valdir commanded an army the size of which had never been seen before. Every soul turns restlessly to lay on their life to fight this dark age. This is the last stand against the darkness. Heroes will rise. The revolution has begun.
Hello, TwitchCon! It's day 9 again. I never leave this stage, and neither does my co-host, Gilly. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Today has been going so well here at the Lineage 2 Revolution booth.
We even have some extra special guests on stage with us. Gilly, who are you with?
Well, I'm hanging out here with Sea-Doo. How's it going, buddy?
It's going great. Oops, forgot I had my mic. It's going great. I'm really happy to be here. I'm happy to be a part of this stage and this booth. Lineage 2 is really, really awesome. Been having a lot of fun, playing the game and stuff, so just really happy to be here.
Well, I'm going to grill you all about your Lineage 2 Revolution skills soon, but who you got over there with you, Day 9?
That's right. We can't even begin talking to Sea-Doo and leave the mystery of the man to my right. Who are you?
Hey
Zaryu.
guys, Zaryu here. I'm Zaryu. You've probably seen me on Twitch, YouTube. I do a lot of stuff with World of Warcraft or MMOs in general.
Now, I want to start by asking you a little bit about your history with MMOs. Right now, I know you do a lot of YouTube videos focused on some of the deeper strategies in MMO. Dude, you gotta hold this mic close to your mouth, man.
That is right.
There, you see that? A deep baritone. That's what we like to hear, man.
I've been playing MMOs for the last 12 years or so. I've been making guides for the last 4 or 5. I love getting really deep into the strategy. Right now in WoW, I play Mage, which is like Mystic here in Lineage 2.
Yeah.
Having a lot of fun, figuring out the class as far as like positioning, AoE. If you go too far in as a Mystic, you get blown up. So like staying on the outside, really just kiting and playing well like that is really important.
Can you talk to me a little bit about some of the detail of... I mean, I know, for instance, the DPS should be in the back, the tanks should be in the front. What are aspects that cause the positioning to be more subtle or more precise?
Yeah, so I was playing on a hunter as well. If you push in too much, you get blown up in like a second.
Yeah.
You know, I was playing on a dwarf, and you can kind of push in and tank a little bit. But any of the range classes, you want to stay far and kind of just not 1v1 people. You know, on the extraction in a 1v1, hunter is going to get destroyed, mystic's going to get destroyed. If you're staying back on the far line in a group, in a team fight, you're going to do great.
Yeah.
You're going to do a ton of AoE damage.
I'm curious when it comes to sitting down with Lineage 2 Revolution, what would be your process for just learning who the classes are, how they function, and how they might fit in a competitive context?
Yeah, on the login screen, it does a great job of that. You can pretty much look at all of the races, all of the classes, and all of the subclasses from there. So it's really cool how you can really drill everything down and get very specific within the game. That's what I actually really like about Lineage. There's a ton of customization.
Yeah. Well, I mean, do you do a whole lot of grinding on stats, like look through everything and try to identify, say, exactly how crit rate works?
Yeah, min-maxing is really important.
Yeah.
It's something I've done in the past in pretty much every MMO, but Lineage has a ton of different breakdowns, so it's something I haven't dived into like yet, but I can't wait to start.
Now, your background, is it mostly PC gaming that you come from?
Yeah, I've done a lot of PC gaming. I'm actually really impressed with Lineage being on the phone. I was a little like nervous at first. I'm like, there's no way they can get an MMO down on the phone. But they did.
Like you want to make out with the microphone, like you're in love and I'm asking you questions, but you really are just into the mic. That's how I want you to answer. What
All
was
right,
your
day 9, here we go.
Yes. Tell me about that first moment you installed the game. What went down?
I was just really impressed with how much they could capture on a phone, right? I was impressed with the movement, the core abilities, being able to just play everything that an MMO has to offer on such a small screen, on such a small platform. It was really impressive. The graphics as well, but that goes without saying.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that was the big shocker for me. I just like opened it up and there's like the swivel on the castle. I was like, oh.
Wow.
What about some of the end game content? I know that, you know, for a lot of the people who are here, some of them have gotten to play for a few weeks, some for a few days, some are getting some of their first games here on the stage. What are the things that you've gotten the chance to look at?
I had the chance to do an extraction dungeon versus Sea-Doo earlier today. It was a lot of fun. Well, it was, you know, free-for-all, but versus Sea-Doo, kind of. And I think the 30 versus 30 idea is beautiful. It's so much fun.
Yeah, I mean, are you going to get the chance to play in the 30v30 on stage later today or tomorrow?
Either that or a clan race, so one of the dungeon races, yeah.
Well, you mentioned to me right before we went on that you're much more interested in the PvP aspect than the PvE aspect of MMOs. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, well, I've been PvPing ever since I started MMOs, and it's like, what really just stands out? I like fighting other people. I like just min-maxing everything and just killing my friends, basically.
Now, you're going to have to be coordinated with your teammates. Have you ever, I don't know, had an experience in a past MMO where one of your teammates just choked?
All the time.
Talk to me. Like, what is that like? Dig in deep, man.
I have friends that will mess up all the time, like my friend Rodak. He messes up.
Oh my God, you don't have to use his name.
But I'm going to use his name.
Once again, it's Rodak, right? All right, cool. Let's get that
Let's get that on the record.
Write that down.
Yeah, no, but when people mess up and, you know, it's hard to kind of take the blame, but as a leader, that's what you have to do if you want your team to win. Hopefully we can do that later. Or if we do the 30v30, kind of just group up and you know, take the other team down.
Really appreciate you sharing your perspective as a super hardcore competitive player who will stomp, no doubt, every single person he plays against.
I hope to.
And now, Gilly, talk to us a little bit about Sea-Doo.
Thank you, Day 9 and Zaryu. Sea-Doo, we'll see if you can get the mic closer. Do even better than Zaryu with that, we'll have to see. Have a little PvP right here on the stage. You also have a lot of MMO experience. Tell me a little bit about that and your involvement with Method.
So I've been playing MMOs since basically World of Warcraft came out, which was 12 years ago. I've been playing it nonstop, kind of no-lifed a little bit, and you know, maybe a few regrets, but it's gotten me to the position where I'm at today, where you know, I'm kind of what I would say as a professional player, get opportunities like this to kind of share my experience with you, some of the guys. But for Method, I just play in the PvP team. I try and participate in as many tournaments as possible, and you know, I just try and go out there and do my best.
And what is it about MMORPGs as a genre that has drawn you in as a hardcore player?
I mean, the biggest thing about MMOs is just that social aspect, you know, getting to meet people online and stuff. I have people that I met and played with today that, you know, maybe I only play with them online. Maybe I did have the opportunity to meet them in real life, but I consider them really good friends. You know, they're people you could talk to if you're having problems, and they're people that you can really share good times with. So the social aspect of MMOs are just amazing, and being able to participate in something like this is just, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, how much have you been able to see about the clan system in Lineage 2 Revolution? Because it is so fleshed out. There's so many aspects to it, and being able to do PvP and PvE, things like clan dungeons together, is just so awesome, in my opinion.
Absolutely. I mean, Lineage 2 is no joke. It's a mobile game, and we kind of say we're surprised how good it is for a mobile game, and that's not to take anything away from Lineage 2. This could be a PC game, a console game, whatever it is. It is a fully functional MMO. It has every single aspect and feature from an MMO that you want. You know, you have like the online world where you can team up with everyone. You could do your solo stuff. We see that in the extraction dungeons, but it is once again a fully functioning MMO. It has all the features that you're looking for when you want to play an MMO.
Now, what kind of character do you tend to enjoy playing when you are playing MMOs, and is that carried over to here, or are you playing a completely different character type in Lineage 2 Revolution so far?
So the MMO I play mainly is World of Warcraft, and traditionally I'm a healer. So, I kind of sit back and let people do my dirty work for me, which, it is nice. But here with Lineage 2, I'm getting my hands dirty a little bit. I'm playing the warrior, the dual wielding, on the dark elf. I don't really want to sit back that much. I just want to kind of get in there and do as much damage as possible. And it's a completely different role from what I'm used to, but it's a lot of fun.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Sidu and Zaryu. And I think we're ready to head on into the next.
That's right. When we come back, we're going to continue to talk to folks who will be participating in a little bit of Extraction Dungeon, a little bit of open play. And as we're getting set up for that, I want to remind all of you here at TwitchCon, get up here, see all these open booth areas. Come on up and play. Try to kill them. Do your best to destroy the streamers that you love. We'll see you soon. I told you we'd be back, and I've never lied before. I'm your host, Day 9, and also, I am here with your host, Gilly. Hey, Gilly.
Hey, how is it up there?
It's really great, I got to admit. It's a little bright, it's a
Yeah.
little hot, but that's bound to happen when you're on bright lights, under bright lights on a stage. And right now, as we're getting set up for the 4 p.m. 30 versus 30 Fortress Siege, it's open play. If you're curious about the game, certainly you can register right now, or you can do that and then come up here and play right there. We got Jari up there, we got Sko over there, and they're currently in an extraction dungeon where you can just go kill them.
Yeah, the Extraction Dungeon is a super unique aspect of Lineage 2 Revolution, because generally when you think of a dungeon, you think that you, or maybe you and a group of friends, are going to go in and be attacking monsters of some variety, maybe even a boss. But in this case, you're going in to try to extract herbs that you can use to better your character permanently, except that you might be fighting some other people in there inside.
This is something I really like about some of the endgame content in Lineage 2 Revolution. There's often in, some past older MMOs, that sort of redundancy that can sometimes happen if there's one specific task that you kind of have to do over and over again, such as the absolute best monster to grind for experience, and that's the only thing to do. But there's a lot of different broken up tasks. Extraction Dungeon, a free-for-all mode where PvP is encouraged, but it's primarily, as Gilly said, to get buffs. there's also clan dungeons, which is kind of like a raid. You coordinate with your clan just to try to defeat the boss as fast as humanly possible. What are some of the endgame bits of content that interest you most, Gilly?
Well, I'm all about the Fortress Siege modes. Generally, when we go live, it's going to be 50 versus 50, and it's in between clans. What's really cool about that is the clans will go in and actually bid to be able to take over a fortress, and the two that end up winning their bids get to go into the Fortress Siege and battle it out.
I really like that because, I mean, already 30 versus 30 is super unusual. In fact, there's literally been no tech issues at all, and this is a convention show, and we would expect. I was so worried that we were going to start it and just like all of blue team immediately cuts, but I mean, it's been super stable with these massive, massive numbers.
Well, I think our members the players are just about to get into the extraction dungeon now and get started, so I'm ready to see all the PvP action because this is a free-for-all mode.
Let's go ahead and head on up to those in the King area, although the Kings is a term reserved for Fortress Siege. We have these setups up here. We got Jari, we got Sko. I'm gonna come over here to Jari.
Oh, we're swapping.
Jari. Hello, how are you?
I'm good. I just noticed that Sko has been cheating. He's already started, so he's already ahead of me with 5. So I need to catch up right now.
I get the sense that you're very competitive right away, as this is a for-fun free-for-all, but you gotta win.
I gotta win. It's Sko. I can't have him cheating and beating me. No way. Now he's attacking me while I'm looting. God damn.
Now, I'm watching you fight to the death, of course. And, you know, while you're trying to kill people, introduce yourself for those who don't know you. Who are you, Jari?
Sorry, say that again. I was too busy kicking Sko's butt.
No problem. Hey, Jari, you're trying to kill people, but people might not know you. Who are you?
So I'm Jari. I'm a Twitch streamer. You might know me from playing World of Warcraft. And I also do a little bit of creative stuff on the side as well.
What types of creative stuff?
So I kind of dabble in like cosplay makeup and special effects makeup and body paint.
Did you see that? Someone snuck on stage to revive you. You can't stop fighting in this, okay? Every question I ask, if you're dying, you gotta revive and you have to continue on. You were saying?
I blame you. If I lose this is on you, Day9. It's on you.
I take no responsibility for anything that happens in this game.
Well, you should. All right, we need to go find Sko right now because I think he's ahead, and I think we need to kill him a couple of times so that we can get ahead of the curve here. But I don't know where he's gone. He's disappeared.
You know, we're gonna come back to Jari in a bit. Gilly, what's going on with Sko? Is he successful? Has he tracked down and hunted who he needs to?
Sko seems to be of a singular mind to go and find Jari. Is that the case?
That is that. Oh, that was a bad time to start the interview. Now he just died.
I don't know if you heard Dana talking over to Jari, but you gotta keep going. It doesn't matter if you're getting attacked by Jari or dying. Now, I want to know, who has been getting more kills between the two of you? Because in my opinion, it kind of seems like she's kicking your butt.
Come on, we're about equal right now. I mean, come on now.
Okay, my bad.
What about the important thing in this dungeon, though, is who has more herbs, right? And let's take a quick look at the herb count right now. I'm sitting on 10. I think she's sitting on like maybe 5 or so.
You're a cheater.
Two.
Uh-oh. It appears there's been an accusation of cheating. Gilly, confirm, deny?
Confirm or deny here?
Absolute deny. I mean, you guys have seen it. I haven't done anything wrong.
Whoa. He's just been in.
Oh,
Getting some herbs. How dare you, Jari?
This is rich. This is great. Okay, now I know you've known Sko for a while. Do you get really competitive with him?
I would say so. I mean, if we're playing something like this, I mean, I gotta beat him. He's Sko from Method, right? So beating the king of PvE, I think that's an accomplishment. So I gotta beat him.
Now I know that earlier today you were talking about how you really like a lot of the story and the PvE elements. Talk to me though about PvP. What's your attitude going into these sorts? Are you super competitive, or is it sort of take a back seat?
Well, I wouldn't say that I was especially great at PvP, but I really enjoy, the competitiveness amongst friends. So, when I played this game before, I played it with guys like Sea-Doo and with Sko and such, and we just have a lot of fun, having banter between us and kicking each other's butts.
Yeah, but you're basically talking like if you were playing a board game like Monopoly, everyone else would just be messing around and having a good time, but you would take that one seriously, right?
Of course, every win is a win, right? I mean, even if it's Monopoly or if it's Lineage 2, it's important to win.
Truer words never spoken. All right, now you're playing right now in the extraction dungeon. What are some of the other modes that you've gotten to check out?
I've done a whole bunch of the different dungeons. So I've done the PvE dungeons where we just go through, let me think, the Tower of Insolence, where you can basically go up levels. And I've done a lot of open world PvP as well as the extraction dungeon, of course.
And which of those were, in terms of stepping into this game for the first time, which were the ones that really stood out to you as being kind of a unique experience?
Well, I think that actually the extraction dungeon is a unique experience because, I mean, you're fighting for these herbs that are going to give you permanent upgrades, and you can also, you know, fight the other players for them. So I think that that's different. I haven't seen that in any other game before.
Now, Gilly, what about Sko? Is he still battling away?
Sko, update status?
All I can say is I think you should probably stop distracting her because she's drastically falling behind in this game right now.
Yikes, yikes. Well, we'll distract you instead. How does that sound? You've gotten your hands on Lineage 2 Revolution for a while. You've been able to try a lot of the different modes. What has been your favorite aspect of this game?
So far, I've been most impressed by the Fortress Siege. That was awesome. Yesterday, we tried a 30 versus 30 Fortress Siege. That was a lot of fun. It was very, very cool, and I'm just still amazed that we were actually able to play like a battle of that scale on a mobile device. Like, I was very impressed, very impressed.
Yeah, it's incredibly smooth that you're able to see that many people inside, and it's cool that once this game goes live, it'll be 50 versus 50 battling with the clanmates. That's so many people.
That's actually crazy, honestly, really crazy. I'm looking forward to playing that, actually.
Have you been maining a specific character or characters that you like a little bit more?
Okay, so I've been playing Mmos for like 12 years, and historically I always play the tank character. So, you know, the character, like the kind of warrior that goes in first, tanks everything. Playing Lineage 2 right now, Revolution, I've actually got a Dark Elf Phantom Ranger, which is like an archer. So it's a very, very big change for me to play this right now, but I'm having fun. It's good.
I hear the tanks in this game are incredible, especially like the human paladins. So yeah. I'll be interested to get your thoughts on those as well once you get a chance to play them. What about dungeons? Any favorite dungeons that you've been able to try so far?
Well, I actually really like this extraction dungeon because it kind of combines elements of PvE and PvP in the same kind of... okay, she's killing me right now. This is... Oh, no. So there is, in the PvE element, you're trying to collect the 20 herbs. You've got monsters to kill that drop resources and such. But then obviously the PvP element is you're trying to stop the other players from collecting those 20 herbs. So it's a very interesting combination of the two elements of the game together, and it actually makes for a lot of fun, especially when it's more than just 1 versus 1 as well. So when you've got a lot of players trying to collect those herbs, it makes for a good time.
It sounds like you, as a group, Method, have been able to take part in a lot of the group elements, the group aspects of this, the social aspects. Were you able to do any of the dungeons together, or were you focusing more on doing PvP together?
We've actually done both. I guess as a group we've mostly done dungeons, and that's the great thing about MMOs is that there's not too many other genres out there that brings like a group of friends together and like you're all working towards the same cause, the same goal, and that's obviously a great thing about the game, yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Sko. Good luck in your one-on-one battles with Jari.
I think I've already won.
Thank you, and congratulations then.
Thank you, Sko. Thank you, Jari. And now, in a few moments' time, we're going to be heading into the Fortress Siege, the 30 versus 30. It's one of the massive PvP modes in the game. Right now, we're going to start letting the kings get the chance to strategize and talk with their team, and then we'll be having the chance to go into the rules in a little more in-depth.
Yeah, there is a lot of strategy that comes in with the Fortress Siege, and I know you didn't get to see it, but the last Fortress Siege that we had today, we had a lot of strategy being brought in from yesterday, thanks to Chief Pat taking part in that. So it was cool to see, and I can't wait to see if we have that developed further.
Yeah, no, it's kind of funny, like, you know, the whole purpose of the Fortress Siege here is just to have a blast, right? Just being able to play 30 versus 30 is stupid fun. In, Korea and a lot of the Asian countries where Lineage 2 Revolution has been released, it's the #1 game in all of them, and there's massive clans that plan to do this every single week and have quite a lot of depth in terms of preparing their strategies. But since the focus here was fun, a lot of the people, a lot of the personalities were like, all right, well, let's just go into the game. But then Swifty came along, and Swifty talked to each person individually in his rows, was like, all right, I want to make sure this is your job to go here. And then, did his team win? I don't even remember.
They did.
Okay.
Yes.
That was almost the worst ending to a story ever. He did this, and we'll never know what happened.
or he did this,
Yeah.
and it didn't work anyway. No,
Yeah.
it did. It totally worked out for him.
We don't know if he's good or bad, but we do know that he does things. Now it's time for a brief break as we get all of our kings ready and all the players launch into this upcoming 30v30 Fortress Siege. Oh, if you've been nearby the Lineage 2 Revolution booth at any point today, you know we've been hyping up what is about to happen next. The 30 versus 30 Fortress Siege mode battle, Gilly.
It's my favorite time of the day. Every time we get to this, we have 60 people on stage about to do battle, and it cannot be better.
And the thing is that yesterday, some of the personalities who were up here just kind of went with the flow, had a good time, and that's okay. But we're seeing some serious strategizing, even some chanting coming over here from Team Blue.
Yeah, both of the teams have been talking at length with their kings, trying to make sure that they have the strategy to be successful. Really important for Trump since he already was not successful earlier today.
Yeah, he got smoked, man. We were all sad about it. As we're going to head into this match, let us introduce our two kings. You already said his name once, Gilly. I demand you say it again.
I will, and in heightened tones, in the red, representing Clan Beleth, we have Trump.
Yeah, right against the gate to start with.
Oh, that was just bad. Come on, guys. Team Red, the king himself, it's Trump!
So much better.
Oh.
Much better.
Oh, it stressed me out, because if no one cheered the second time, I'm like, well, he's the enemy, I guess. Let's go. Let's go with Team Blue, where we got the king himself. It's Rallied! Oh, Rallied would shrug like, yeah, I deserve that. That was good. It feels nice. Gilly.
Day 9.
If you haven't seen Lineage 2 Revolution before, not only does that make sense because it's not released yet, but we have a video to get you tuned in. Check it out.
Food poisoning at the Thanksgiving affair, creating the dark age of Rallied. Staying in bed
Every MMO has its epic lore. Lineage 2 Revolution, of course, no exception. Something that's a little unusual about Lineage 2 Revolution is that though it is not available here, it has already been released in the East, where it is an absolute sensation. Just to show you how huge it is, take a look a little bit at this video full of useful data. And part of the big reason for such incredible success is these end game modes like the Fortress Siege 30v30 that we are about to watch right now. And since we're heading into the match, Gilly, how does it work?
Well, Day 9, both teams have a fortress. And inside this fortress lies the Holy Artifact. And the objective of this game is to imprint your symbol on the opponent's Holy Artifact to win the game.
Very key to note, often it is destroy the objective, but the way the artifact imprinting works is that your team's king has to be the one who does the imprinting. Therefore, if you kill the king, if you stun the king, if you delay just the king, you will deny your opponents the chance to win.
Keeping track of the opponent's king is key, and to get to the Holy Artifact, there are some towers standing in the way. You're gonna take down the towers, get through the gate, and then there's more towers there at the Holy Artifact.
Yeah, and of course, you don't have minions to tank, you're the tank. You're gonna put human paladins in the front, you're gonna put dwarfs in the front.
I'm the tank.
I know. That always cracks me up. Gilly actually plays a dwarf in the game, and I'm, of course, human paladin. Always got to play that in every single MMO. Now, these gates that you're trying to battle through are not the only objectives in the map. Talk to us about the center.
All right, in the center of the map, there are 2 altars that will provide a buff not only to you if you can capture them, but to your entire party. And in the center, a spring of recovery that if you stand next to will increase your health point recovery even faster.
Yeah. And the important thing to note about the buffs is that they are temporary. They last for 3 minutes and then they refresh. So often each team will get 1 and then they battle again for the double buff right after they wear out.
Yeah, the team that's able to control the center of the map for a good deal of time is usually the team who takes the victory.
Now that both teams are set up, it's time to get hyped. I'm curious, in the crowd, are there any fans of Team Red? Team Red, big fans of themselves, nice.
What about Team Blue? Are there any fans of Team Blue? I've got the numbers advantage.
It really seems like people love whoever is announced second. Best of luck to both teams. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. The match is getting underway, and to do the commentary, we have the 2 experts of Lineage 2 Revolution, Dreadnought and Froden.
Thank you very much, Day 9. Welcome everybody to yet another epic 30 vs 30 Fortress Siege action live at TwitchCon. Lineage 2 Revolution booth.
And the battles have been constantly evolving, Froden. I don't know if you got to tune into the first 30 vs 30 that we had today, but these guys have taken it to a whole level here today.
That's right, the evolution of the revolution. The teams have been adapting their strategies. They've been consulting experts. In fact, Dreadnought even told me that he helped a specific team prepare for a match. Which one was it?
I just want to see Reynad lose more than anything, so I may have helped Trump. I don't know if I helped him, but I gave him my idea of what I think is a good strategy, and we'll see if they unfold with that today.
What does the strategy entail? Is it a positioning? Is it targeting specific? Is it map control?
I mean, it's really concentrated around what I've always been talking about with these 30 vs 30, sticking together as a unit. But then rather than just forfeiting once you get past a tier 1 turret and kind of throwing bodies over and over and over again, I really want to see them maybe split push and focus towards the other turret section before going to that Holy Artifact.
Oh no, Trump was trying to imprint onto the altar of Earth, but his teammates have all fallen, and now Blue Team is swarming the Red Team leader, and Trump will go down. But at the same time, does Blue have firm control over the spring of recovery in the center?
They did for a moment, but the Red Team definitely called in for some comrades here. They're going to be able to push off the Blue members here. I'm pretty confident that I think spring recovery here is going to be won by the Red Team, as they are already winning when it comes to those kills.
I like it. For many players who understand Trump's playstyle, he loves greed, and going for both of those imprints on the altars, I think was a really risky play, but if it paid off, it would have been able to get him a huge advantage in combat.
And I feel like when looking at the very first game, Trump seemed to have a lot of concentration towards structures and making sure that they take those out. And now it seems like a very different angle, getting that double buff and making sure that they can bring the fight here to the Blue Team.
Blue team is still unable to imprint their own altar. I am extremely curious as to what their strategy was, because prior to the match, you saw that Reynad was gathering his entire team, trying to talk about strategies, and they were even doing chants and cheers together. So it seems like the team morale is good, but team morale is only good enough for the hype.
Yeah, they brought the hype, but it seems like the leadership is maybe a bit struggling there. But I'm confident that at some point when we check in with Reynad, that he'll bring some morale and confident words here to the squad.
3 minutes in, and this could be the most evenly matched battle we've had yet. Team Red seems to be just barely able to pull, but now Blue team's altar is kicking in, and they'll have 3 minutes of cooldown on that buff.
And as we're still looking at the earlier stages here of the 30 versus 30, I think it's important that we highlight when that timer goes to 0, if no one can get that imprint onto the Holy Artifact, that will be the highest kills will be the winner. So it's very important to concentrate on getting those kills, but again, always focusing on getting that split push.
Red team is fighting for good control of the center, and they're able to get a better positioning, forcing Blue to funnel in to an attack, and that is going to be a losing position. They don't have as much surface area to attack.
Exactly. Look at the top half of your map right there in the screen of what you see. That chokehold between the Spring of Recovery and those sidewalls are actually really, really bad for the red team. It allows for very high value AoE damages, especially for, like, again, the characters I play, like the Dark Elf Rogue.
Oh, this is starting to look bad. Let's go ahead and check in with the teams. I am with a member of the red team. What is your name?
Wow, Nikosi, what's up?
How you doing? Can you tell me what was the strategy that Trump was talking about prior to it? Blue team can't hear, trust me.
Well, he's talking about defend the middle, push them out, and then come back, keep control in the middle as much as possible, stay on defense for the most part, and then when we got the advantage, just push, but don't push too hard.
Ooh, I like it. Some control and some patience. Is that the strategy that you were referring to, Wade?
There is a lot of strategy going on over here, actually, especially between you guys, the communication. What's going on from your point of view?
We're all going as a unit. We're all like working together. We ain't going separate. Stay as a unit, work as a team. Is
that mainly because you're trying to, fight for Reynad, or more because you just want to beat Trump?
No, we just trying to win everything. That's what we're trying to do.
That's what I like to see, the competitive spirit. Here, you're pretty talkative over here as well. Let's get what are your thoughts so far with your time here in the 30 versus 30?
My thoughts are we just got to stay as a team, work as a team. That's what this is 30 v 30. We just got to keep it going.
If you had any words of encouragement for the rest of the squad, what would they be?
Just keep it going, like if you try playing it solo, you're never going to win. I mean, it's a 30 v 30. You got to work with your team.
That's it. Simple as that, Frodan.
Well, Blue team is starting to take the commanding lead here. They have completely turned the tides and now are fighting over this last altar here. Can Reynad's team completely just swing it back? Well, I think maybe they'd be playing the long con here, Drew.
They could play for the long con, but normally teams that rely on that late game win condition are pulling ahead rather significantly in the death count, and that currently is not the case for either side. This is very, very close. Debatably the closest game I think we've seen so yet far out of the Fortress Siege.
It's been the first time that I've seen a team take a lead and lose it. And that could be history here on the Lineage 2 Revolution booth. Taking a look at how Blue team's also starting to communicate. They're talking about where they want to hit. They're talking about where they should be following, where they need to be grouping. Meanwhile, Team Red seems to be talking about conspiracy theories in the U.S. government.
Priorities, I guess. I don't know.
Some people, they play games for different reasons. Some people really to express ideology. Some people just want to win.
Yeah, I'm more on the win side, but, not trying to take away from the other. You can have your theories, but my theory right now is that the red team, they're looking good. They just got a really great defense over that bottom half side, using that defender's advantage in those turrets.
Unbelievable. Red team's about to equalize, and we are tied 161 kills apiece with no traction on either side here to knock down towers and get onto the Holy Artifact.
But the blue team, they are not letting up. Even though red got the defense past those turrets, they now, as they're trying to push outward, the blue team can try and use the fact that they no longer have those towers at advantage, and more importantly than anything, we have ourselves an imprint in the middle of the map available.
Yeah, Trump was trying to sneak again onto the blue side and steal it, but was being harassed a little bit. He is playing the dwarf class, so he does have a lot of health points to would take a lot of damage from his opposing team. But for the most part, it seems like Trump is Rambo. He's not sticking with a holy guard of units. Instead, he's just by himself, assailing behind the enemy lines.
Yeah, it's staying behind the enemy lines, and good reason so when you have that massive range. There's a lot of action going into the middle of the pack, but in the meantime, I think it's very important that we see what these kings are up to.
That's right. I'm going to go ahead and head over to Team Trump, or Trumpo Storm rather. I'm going to go ahead and talk to him. Trump, how you feeling about the current status of battle?
Man, this is looking good. We baited them into our towers here, and I think we're now starting to push them through. We've got the Fountain in our back. It looks great. I think right now we're racking up the kills. I'm optimistic, at least, on this. It looks pretty good.
I gotta admit, you have a very bold strategy of trying to sneak behind people and take the altar by yourself with no one helping you. Is that something that's happening because that's what you volunteer to do, or is it because no one's backing you up?
Hey, I just see the objective right there free, and I'm going to take it. Looks like right now we are getting them on the route here. This is good. We're just going to keep fighting as a group, and we're going to whittle them down.
Wow, you're commenting better than I am. How's it going over in Team Blues Camp, Dread?
We're trying to check in here with Raynat. Raynat, how things been going so far?
Man, I can barely tell, man. This is hectic. 60 people in the game. It's kind of awesome, but I don't know. I think we, we're losing some objectives, which does hurt a little bit. Wish we could take an altar a little bit faster. And
so I saw earlier on that you had a really, big effort in to try and make sure communicating with everybody. You had a rally cry kind of going on, and then beyond that point, communication just full stop. Is there any reason for this?
Yeah, I mean, we pretty much had a straightforward plan that we didn't plan on deviating from. So once you explain the plan, there's not much else to say.
So you're saying you let everybody know you want to run it down mid, and that's the end. Everybody's now going to proceed to run it down mid.
That was exactly the plan, yeah.
Run it down mid, Frodan.
Well, you always know Raynat is good for a couple of chuckles when you talk to him, but at the same time, we can tell that blue team is starting to falter a little bit. When I was talking to Trump, I saw his team killing dozens of members from blue team, feels like simultaneously, and now the lead reflects that 260 with just 6 minutes to go.
That is a very, very big advantage to be able to have as we are now rounding about 2/3 of the game. The fight has been constant throughout this middle objectives. I mean, the teams almost seem to get very little interest. Only maybe one push beyond that point. It has just been battling out over these objectives.
Yeah, what becomes really curious is when do they start changing strategies? Are we going to continue to fight for center, or perhaps will we start pushing on towers?
This is where I would like to say I absolutely have the answer for you. From my point of view and my time within 30 versus 30, it does feel like honestly probably 1 to 2 deaths. If things aren't working out in the direction I'm going, unless my team is actually making a push and I'm sacrificing for the greater good and not just fighting over mid, it feels like that's enough time, that 1 to 2 minutes before I want to mix things up.
Yeah, and it seems like no one's really able to firmly grasp the spring of recovery just because it's been such a chaotic massacre. A couple of team members from both teams are attacking the towers by themselves. You can see a member of blue team trying to take the western tower there, but just backs off, realizing that he's going to get soloed by those 2 towers.
Yeah, I know what I would ideally like to see for one of these squads when they do see that type of clump, especially again around that spring of recovery, is stack those AoE crowd controls. We heard that some of the top Korean strategies were literally just to stack CC on top of CC, especially on those kings.
That's right. And you can just see how much damage the frontline warriors are doing for Team Red here. And Clan Bailiff is starting to push through all of Blue's forces. They're scattered now and making the big secure over the spring of recovery, and that's going to be tough. And again, Red Team is securing their lead. They're now up almost 80 points.
I feel like if Blue Team is going to be able to make a recovery, it's in 1 of 2 areas. Either on that major objective in mid with the imprint, which is no longer an option. Red Team just secured that, or the split push. And that seems like they're going to go with that push here up on the top half.
Well, the Secret Service team trying to go to the Red West Tower, but is going to get shut down because turns out towers are pretty strong and you need more than 3 or 4 people.
Yeah, they hurt really, really bad. Even if you're a warrior and tank up in the front line, you can only expect to survive for a short period of time. But there are a lot of rally guys coming out from Trump's squad here as they are just stomping all over Raynat here in the chokehold.
Oh, Red Team has firmly secured the center and gotten both altars. And now is continuing to crush the blue team. They're losing so much ground, and now the lead has come to 100 kills. And I think with 4 minutes left, this is looking more and more like a Clan Bailiff victory.
And it feels like it is getting a bit too far out of control here for Raynat and the rest of Clan Barden to get that recovery. Again, now without those double altars, without the double imprint available, there's only going to be 1 more cycle of major buffs, and even those are below essentially the maximum cooldown. So it is the only win condition now is that split push, focusing on those structures.
I want to talk to Trump again. Trump, it seems like everything is going well. Do you feel like you can let blue team back in a little bit? Maybe everyone on red team take a break from holding your phone for about 5 seconds. Is that enough of a handicap?
You know what? I lost the first one. I learned a lot from it. So I'm just here to crush Raynat into the ground. No mercy. We are going to kill them all.
You are aware that Raynat is your boss on Tempo Storm as well, right?
I think he would be very proud that I'm implementing such great strategy against him.
All right, well, Trump seems to take no prisoners and wants revenge for his first loss.
I feel like I've just got to ask, mainly Raynad, I just want to know, is it going to feel good to, after this, if you do end up losing, be able to finally tell Trump that, you know, maybe he's fired?
You think we're going to lose? No faith, Dred. No faith.
You know, you don't think... I mean, I want to say here, you know what? I gave him some advice beforehand, so I'm going to help you out. I know we're about 12 minutes late here, but at this point, you're not going to recover in kills. You're about down 100. The biggest focus here is you got to go for that split push. So where are you going to try and strike?
I guess we just go for the gates, maybe ignore the middle. Is that a strategy now?
I mean, at this point in time, it's probably in your best interest.
All right, let's try it out.
You heard it, blue team. That's what we're going for.
It's tough to hear all over the classic action that's happening here onto the main stage of the Lineage 2 Revolution booth. You can see that red team has actually lost a tower, but they don't care because they have secured the western part of the map. And with that, they're pushing slowly but surely and containing blue. I like this. Instead of just trying to rush the tower with their advantage, they're just trying to contain any kind of aggression from blue.
I feel like because we do have so many people on the battlefield, and it's very likely, you know, kind of the fog of war and the fodder of people being constantly killed and brought back to life, there is a certain level of, you know, advantage to just taking a mini, taking a time to try and collect yourselves and wait for a few more people to spawn and clump up before making a play.
Yeah, and all the action is happening on the western part of the map. Off the spawn, blue team is frantically throwing themselves into it like lemmings, dying one after another. And red team's lead is climbing to over 150 kills. This is all but over in the last 90 seconds here, Dred.
And one of the coolest things about this here is you see on the mini-map, Trump's squad is hiding behind those turrets. So with the advantage that they have, they're essentially doing everything proper to be able to just turtle it out, slow out the game. They are just min-maxing all over the blue squad.
I just want to put things in context. Even if red team got to kill every member of blue team 5 times in a row, they'd still be behind and lose the draw. That is how much of a crushing defeat and convincing victory this is for Clan Bailiff.
It is just overwhelming. The most dominant performance we have seen yet here at the Lineage 2 Revolution booth. Trump, he had some practice here with a couple rounds before, and it is really paying off now as we only have 40 seconds to what feels like the inevitable end of Raynad and friends.
Even if Raynad channeled all of his connections to NASA to destroy all the satellites with internet connections for the Lineage 2 Revolution booth, even in 30 seconds would not be able to make this comeback. And the final countdown will continue. It doesn't seem like red team's interested in the holy artifact. They just want blood.
The blue team, they started with very high morale. They'll be able to end it with high morale, considering that they did get one of their few alters and buffs for the squad out of the entirety of it, but that looks like this is it.
That is it. The countdown is over, and Clan Bailiff will prevail. Evil wins again.
Dreadnought and Frodan, get off the stage. Trump, come to the front. Oh. He played in a 30 versus 30 earlier today and was mauled. In that game, you were Leonardo DiCaprio and the other team was the bear. It was awful. How were you feeling after that loss? How did you come back and win this match today?
You know, funny that you should mention bears. I decided to go in and think, what would a bear do? So I lured them into my cave, and then we pounced on them. And that's what we did. We defended, and we defended well. And that's how you win this extended brawl here.
A sensible strategy, no doubt. Trump, I saw you talking to your team all throughout it. Walk me through some of the things that you were saying to them.
I'm really proud of our team here. We really rallied together. We guarded a few key things. We took down their altars. We took control of the center. We made sure it was constantly healing us. And that constant benefit made us get the kill advantage on them. Made them desperate. Made them come over. We used our towers to our advantage. Just used all the defensive advantages possible.
I think they staggered deaths.
We saw despondence on so many faces of Team Blue, but we know that they fought well. Do you have any words for Team Blue, and in particular, Raynad?
You know, Raynad, that's why I'm a raid leader, and you're simply a team leader.
Damn, nice. We should have you in all the Fortress Sieges. You're great to interview. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up once again for Team Red. Woo! When we come back, we're going to have yet more 30v30 Clan Dungeon Rush extraction dungeons, and of course talking about all the systems that exist in Lineage 2 Revolution. Congratulations again, Trump. You're the man, dude. See you soon.